Hello BookTube. I have a quick Saturday MegaStuff video for you here. Just a couple of pictures and a couple of packages. Not much else in the way of things to report. But I have lapsed in showing you babies during MegaStuff videos, where I put out the call a while ago for pictures of your books and got bombarded with pictures of your dogs. That's a fun thing to do, and I've let that lapse, so I want to try and pick that up again when I get them. I've got a couple to show you today. Here's this adorable creature. Look at, oh, just very calmly putting hand in hand. Oh, and then the other fellow that I've got to show you is an amazing visual and also has just stellar reading taste. Look at that. That is Vagabonds of Gore, one of the innumerable Gore novels, science fiction fantasy novels that really aren't worth the paper they're printed on. But I'm not going to tell this dog that. So those are your babies for today. And then we've got a couple of packages. A big floaty cardboard thing and a box. So nothing from any of you, but they could both be finished copies, which would be great. Okay, yes, all right. Oh, great. Oh, this is lovely. Okay, this is a finished copy indeed. This is Robin Lane Fox, the great classicist and historian Robin Lane Fox. This is The Invention of Medicine, a finished copy of The Invention of Medicine, his new look at not only the classical roots of any kind of medical investigation, from all of the explicit anatomy references that littered throughout Homer to Hippocrates and the corpus of classical medical texts that are associated with Hippocrates or the Hippocratic tradition, but also in the heart and soul of the book. Oh, this lovely finished copy, very nice. In the heart and soul of the book, a kind of very insider baseball classicist argument about redating some of those texts and some of that tradition. So this book looks to both sides of popular. This is basic books. This looks to both sides of the divide that a classicist has to look at when they bring a book to market. On the one hand, you want to be accessible to the general public. On the other hand, you want to write something that your classicist colleagues might get some use out of, might find interesting. And this book does that. I reviewed it, and I don't know when my review is going to run. I don't think it's run yet. I think I reviewed it for the Christian Science Monitor. Oh, no, I didn't. I reviewed it for, give me a minute here, the Boston Globe. And I don't know when it's run yet. I don't think it has. It was a little bit tricky, of course. From that description, you would gather that it's a little bit tricky to review such a book because it has a split purpose. The book itself has a split purpose. Not all of Robin Lane Fox's books do. This is an author of a terrific biography of Alexander the Great, for instance. But this one does, and it required a little bit of fancy dancing in the review, but I think I handled it fairly well. And once again, the Boston Globe, like the Christian Science Monitor, is the hometown paper, so always an extra thrill. We're getting close to the gift-giving season. If classical history is of interest to you, or if you know somebody that it interests, or, for instance, a medical professional that you know, that you might want to say, well, they're a reader and they're involved in the medical field. What on earth do I get them? If it's a book, you might want to consider this. It's right up their alley. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then we have this great big box. Now I know what I want this to be, but I don't know. There is one enormous book that's big enough to warrant a box this size that I haven't actually yet received a finished copy of, and I'd kind of like to. But, oh, okay, no, this is not that book, but I'm very happy to have it. Fantastic. Okay, this is something that I've already praised on this channel, so it's great to have a finished copy. This is The Glorious American Essay, edited by Philip Lopate. This is a long collection of just an anthology of great essays in American history. And from the earliest times, you've got Sinners in the Hand of an Angry God is in here, but you all the way to the present day, to a whole slew of authors who are still alive. And this editor did The Art of the Personal Essay, which is in this room, and in the equivalent of this room in personal libraries all over the world. That anthology of essays is universally beloved. And so I was really excited to get this and to go over it again. And part of the fun of an anthology like this, since a lot of the authors in here I know really well. And a lot of the essays reprinted in here I've read many times. The fun of a volume like this for me is the juxtaposition. It's the mood shift of going from one to the next without really ever having seen them cheek by jowl before. I am reviewing this as well for, I believe, the Christian Science Monitor. So these are 2 books, and they are both going to be in Boston Papers. I don't have the Art of the Personal Essay right here, and I don't have the date off the top of my head, but I believe I was out of the reviewing game when that anthology first came out, so I didn't get a chance to weigh in on it. So it's going to be great to do that for this. I'll be doing that later today, and the weekend I'll be doing that as well. So, because reviewing anthologies is tricky. Reviewing this thing was tricky because the author is, on the one hand, writing for a general audience, and on the other hand, writing for his own colleagues, about 100 people in the world. And that's tricky in its own right, and reviewing anthologies is tricky too, because you want to give the sense of the whole anthology, but you also want to deal with a lot of the specifics. A lot of the specific cases. Here are authors that I can write about for thousands of words alone, and have some of them. so I'll manage it. I've reviewed many anthologies in my life, but it's great to see this, and it's the exact same thing. As I said for the Robin Lane Fox book, this is a fantastic potential gift for a reader of pretty much any kind that you have out there, unless you know somebody who's just so dedicated to fiction that they absolutely won't read anything that isn't fiction. But I'd like to think those mental cases are few and far between. This is a fantastic anthology for just a general reader, and great for dipping in and out, as essay collections always are. This is fantastic. This will be coming in this room, so I'm very glad I have a finished copy of it. So there you go. We have 2 pictures of babies and 2 finished copies, and the 2 finished copies are both sub judice, as it were. They're both actually they're not just books that I'm reading and telling you about. They're books that I'm and they're also not just books that I am reading and then reviewing for Open Letters Review, the literary journal where I am one of the editors. Instead, they're books that I am reading and reviewing for a print journal and a paying audience. So, yeah, another rung beyond even that. Fantastic. That's great. And those are our only 2 books. The box did not contain The Rhythm of War. The Rhythm of War is the big book I'm looking for, and I'm not getting it. I'm just resolutely not. Maybe I'm not going to get a finished copy. I thought sure that I was on the list for the finished copy, but everybody that I know who is on that list has theirs already, so maybe I'm not going to get mine. One way or another, I'm very happy with these 2 for nonfiction to fiction anyway, but one way or another, that is your mega stuff for today. Nice and short, well under 10 minutes. So we have 2 babies and 2 books. So I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.